So I recently got these Milwaukee Speed Feed drill bits, and there's some question about whether or not you can run these with an auger bit, with a just regular auger, hand auger. So I'm going to give it a try. I pull out the 3/4, and this is 2-jaw auger, but theoretically it will hold on to here. That actually holds on halfway decent onto the square shank. Let's see. I'm drilling into ash. Yeah, this 2-jaw chuck does not like the hex shank underneath a lot of torque. So I'm going to back this off. So really you should get one of those adapter things, because holding onto the hex, well, it seems like it kind of works, doesn't really work well enough. Well, that's a pretty terrible hole too. So it did self-feed, but man, that's an ugly hole that it made in the ash. Let me try some softwood and see if it does a better job. Yeah, that did halfway decent in the chunk of pressure treated I have here. Let's try a piece of pine. So these bits are not particularly sharp out of the box. They're not dull, but they're not sharp by any stretch of imagination. Yeah, there's no catch to them at all. So, yeah, these could definitely be sharper. If you slide your fingernail over, it doesn't catch at all. So, yeah, so you could definitely sharpen these up, and it would help. So this is an old drill bit that I need to clean up, but I'm going to clean up at some point. But you can see the little nickers are come right to a point, so they're nice and sharp. And I think this is, yeah, this rusty old drill bit feels just as sharp as the Milwaukee. Actually, let's give this one a try. This rusty old drill bit, not cleaned, sharpened, prepped, or anything. So my old, rusty, unsharpened, drill bit did a cleaner hole than the Milwaukee, and it turned easier. The Milwaukee has a faster speed, faster screw speed. The old drill bit did skip out. That could be just because I wasn't pushing as hard, but it also isn't very sharp, so I'm sure it would do better if it was sharpened. But the Milwaukee would also do better if it was sharpened also. So, anyways. So the old rusty drill bit has a sharper angle here at the cutting edge than the Milwaukee does. And it also has sharp points on the nickers, which would also help it. This Milwaukee bit will work with a hand auger, but it's not great. And this old drill bit, I mean, it's obviously seen better days. I just pulled this out of my drawer of drill bits to be restored, but it did surprisingly well, even being as rusty and ugly as it is. Did a really quick file job on this one. Got the face there, the edge, and I also touched up the edge here and brought these to a little bit more of a point, and we'll see if that makes a cleaner hole in this spruce. So there's no comparison between the two holes really. This is the old bit, nice and smooth. This one here, the Milwaukee, is all torn up and rough. It fed through and cranked easy, so if you want to just punch holes, you can certainly do that. But it's also no replacement for an old-fashioned auger bit where you get a nice clean hole. So comparing the nickers, these little things on this drill bit to the other one, this one actually has a blunt face to it because it follows this cutting rake right up. So this little tip is actually blunt, so it doesn't really slice the wood fibers, it just sort of plows through them and tears. So I'm going to try refiling that so it's more like a knife edge. See, these nickers are a nice knife edge before the cutting edge, so they slice the fibers more rather than tear them. So I'm going to try filing that other one so they slice instead of tear, and we'll see if that makes a difference in the hole quality. So there we have it. They're sharpened to points now. There's a bit of a burr on there, but I think that'll come off. The other thing is now they are slanted backwards, which will help push the wood fibers down and slice them rather than just tear them up. So we'll see if that makes a difference. So I got both sides about the same, and we'll give it a try. So it did split the wood a little bit, but this has got so many holes drilled in it. But it made a much cleaner hole than it did before. This is one of the ones it did before. That all rough. This one also. So if you look at that tear out there, compare that to this one. So yeah, filing those back made a huge difference. Let me do another type of wood and try that out. So let's try the same thing in white pine. Saw that didn't make a difference. Here's the unmodified Speed Feed bit. You can see you get a lot of tearing the wood fibers as it comes around. This is the modified one, and it did a pretty good job. And then not quite as good as the hand-powered auger. So the Speed Feed bits definitely make a cleaner hole with the modified nickers. So my modifications did seem to help on this one, and I could probably sharpen these up a little bit more and make it cut a little bit better, but I think I don't have much room to move back here, so I don't want to end up losing that nicker altogether. They kind of function with the original style ones, but they're not great. So with modification, you could use these in a brace and bit. They feed okay, but they do leave kind of a rough hole. So yeah, it's up to you what you want. I do think you would be better off if you want a brace and bit to use real brace and bit bits, but those I guess can be hard to find.